30,000 likes and I'll do 700 days.
Where is he?
What?
Where is he?
Who?
Skies, I didn't know how he survived.
Your Batman voice is awful.
Not as awful as YouTube analytics telling me that only 4% of you are subscribed. I promise you'll enjoy my content and it's all free.
Wow, all of that sounds amazing.
Almost as amazing as you telling me how Sky survived for 600 days. Well, first off, here's the challenges for this video that I'll continue on to the next couple videos too. Number 1 is finish the Wither Skeleton farm. 2. Make a raid farm. 3. Begin the mega base. 4. Complete all achievements. 5. Make a small bee base. Number 6. Make an auto sorting system. 7. Make an auto smelter and cooker. 8. Drown in water. 9. Make a mega barn and name more animals for all of you to simp over. The challenges I don't complete will be moved on to the next episode. I've been playing a lot of SMPs lately, and I've been getting into building and redstone contraptions a lot. So, this episode I want to dedicate it to that. Also, this will be my resume for Hermitcraft Season 8. Now, as one would do when they're done sleeping, I woke up and crafted the last remaining beacons. Now I have a sextuple beacon. I'm definitely going to need to make more. Next, for the lovely cute little bees, I'm going to be a true American and remove some of Mother Nature. I would need just a tiny little space for the beehive since they became so widely loved. I listened to all 3,000 of your comments and got the Sticky Situation achievement, and put my lovely dirt away. I was spying creepily on my land to see where to put the beehive, found a spot I liked, and began to build the outline. But then like any 9-to-5 job, I hated my work and destroyed it all. I'm going to promote this mountain to air. I need a lot more space. This build is supposed to be a Hermitcraft-sized base after all. After promoting the mountain to space, my poor whittle shovel was nearly destroyed. So I flew like all penguins do and went back to my homies to heal up everything. Just like my haters' brains, I needed to make my land smooth. I used a stonecutter for the first time ever, amazing device, and began the design of the beehive again. I like using scaffolding since it's easy to remove and got the stonework started. I began the front entrance and I'm using sea lanterns for this upper area. I'm going to call this a sea lantern district. I flew around to look for some orange flowers. I need it for the orange glass on the beehive. Luckily, there's a small area in the village next to my compound that has a tulip chunk, so I farmed for some orange tulips. Felt insanely pretty this day and kept on collecting flowers. Enough feeling like Madison Beer though, it's time to begin this mega mansion for Bumble. I'm thinking of making some giant honeycombs with a biome inside for the bees to live in, so they can't wander around and get hurt. Of course, with my luck, I didn't build it in the center, so I had to move it 3 blocks to the right. After finishing the move, I began the second honeycomb outline, which didn't take me long at all. With this design, the honeycomb mansion can forever be built upon luckily. With those done, it's time for the entrance. The Sea Lantern district is mainly blue and the buildings will be out of stone and white concrete. So, to make it mix well with the orange and yellow of the bees, I started to work on the transitional colors between them. With those coming along nicely, it was time to add depth to the building. Whenever you're in doubt of your build, usually adding depth to it can make it look a lot nicer. Also, switch up on blocks so they're not all the same. I like to work with stairs and waterlogging, so I made a nice little border around the entrance. After that, I extended the sea lantern walkway, and I'm loving how the building is coming along. Next was some more depth. The more I added, the more I loved it. I made a nice little orange glass centerpiece and raised up the walls on this some more. I'm liking the general shape of this beast, but it's looking like a prison and too evil of a build. A traveling trader came by and gave me some leads, which was amazing. I'll have to keep replacing the blocks with some honey blocks and other colorful items as time goes on. Upon bringing colors into the prison entrance, I noticed how the honeycomb wall still wasn't centered for a center honeycomb. So, once again, I had to rebuild it. I centered out the center honeycomb, then I began to rebuild the side honeycomb. At this point, I have this entire build down by memory. And would you just look at that? My word, it's so beautiful. So I finished the second honeycomb outline and finished the third. And this mega beehive base is looking pretty okay so far. I forgot to record this day, but I lost Bumble, so I collected all the beehives. Made a hole in the ground to collect some cobblestone, and now I'm cooking it all. Now that I have more time to talk on this day, yeah, I lost Bumble. I checked the last beehive with bees in it, and neither of them were Bumble. I went to the Nether since I've seen them fly in there before. I found one bee, but wasn't Bumble, and another who tried to fly into lava. Also wasn't Bumble. I searched around the Nether some more and didn't see any other bees in there. I saw that all my bees were flying around randomly now and trying to escape, so this is fun. I've never taken an L before, and I'm not going to start now. I set out to hunt down all of my bees. I know that these wild bees are mine because I took them. I flew around and kept finding them. Then I found this weird bee that wouldn't go into the hive and she kissed me. Then the name popped up. My amazing penguin tracking skills led me to Bumble. I somehow found her. I kept trying to get her to enter the beehive though, and of course, the little princess wouldn't go in unless she had a beehive all to herself. I'm I'm not surprised, honestly. After her, I found another bee, and then I found a tricky little booger. I chased him around the tree, then he juked me, and entered the beehive without me seeing him. No wonder he escaped. I put them in the chest next to their mega mansion so they wouldn't run away again. With that massive W out of the way, it's time to make this building more bee-like. Because how can you tell it's for bees? Besides the massive honeycomb wall, honey blocks in the building, and bees living in it. It's time for a bee face on the front. I still need to add more colors to the building. I don't want Bumble to be thinking that she lives in a prison that she can never escape and has to live the rest of eternity in here with no chance of escaping. That would be rude. I'm happy with the honeycomb wall placement, so it's time to add their official blocks. Glowstone. I nearly finished one of them, but I need one more glowstone. I'm going to use black concrete to connect the honeycomb walls where they touch. I got prepared to go to the Nether and went to do my most favorite activity ever, collecting some more glowstone. That was all sarcasm. After getting organized from the Nether, I went out exploring again. I want to have some more fun with bees. Everything was normal and I was gathering some nice bees. But then I found a bee and 2 bees left my beehive. So now I had to juggle 3 bees to get back into the beehive. Then I was surprised and a 4th popped out. I found the other beehive and was told I'm now the parent of 5 bees. After getting 2 of them to return to the prison, a 6th popped out. I feel like I'm in a 1940s comedy movie. They kept on trying to escape me for some reason. Please send help. Once night arrived, I finally got all 6 bees in their prisons. To none of your surprise, I imprisoned more bees the next day, made some sand fall pleasantly, stole some barrels from innocent villagers, and flew back home on my bed. After being kind and imprisoning bees forever, I finished up the honeycomb walls with glowstone and began to remove the dirt outlines. I finished removing the dirt outline and the honeycomb walls are looking nice. I put on some granite and wood to figure out which ones I like more for the outlines of the beehive, and took out some of the excess black concrete. I got rid of the granite and chose wood since granite looks better as a walkway, and began the mega beehive holding chambers. I didn't want to make the honeycomb chambers just yet, since I haven't started the interior, which of course I made out of dirt, for now, and I'm liking how it's coming along. But when I was going to go fall asleep, some fans dropped by, then mysteriously disappeared. Very spooky. I was feeling spicy today, and continued working on the interior. It isn't going to be too amazing or massive since the main part of this entire structure is the beehive chambers. But I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. I know all of you are growing attached to my compound, but it's time to make some massive changes and remove my little farm sections. I don't ever tend to them, so I'll just rebuild them later and make them automatic. This section looks super open now. I'm kind of liking it. But I'm not liking this iron golem tube shoot anymore. It's too intrusive, but I'm way too lazy to relocate it. So I'll just relocate where they fall from. I spent this entire day removing the iron golem glizzy chute. Upon looking up at it, it's looking better already, and I found the next spot to make them drop. If you thought I was going to move this to a different spot like a logical person, clearly you don't know me. I'm going to make a fun water slide to push the iron golems along to their inevitable doom. I didn't want to be rude, and I remembered how villagers hate sleep. So I went by like a sane person and removed their dirt blocks and said hi to OMG please subscribe. After that, I reactivated the machine so iron golems could flood my compound again for some more protection. And my goodness, I'll never get tired of seeing them fall from the sky. I finished up the super happy-go-lucky swim water slide of doom and began to calculate the drop chute like a genius. After calculating the landing zone like a head NASA scientist, I began to construct it and said hi to my iron golems, and there we have it, the basic landing zone. Of course though, I wasn't done. I had to overly decorate the entire thing, and after spending a day on it, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Not too shabby. But now my heart is broken. For some reason, no iron golems want to go down the super happy-go-lucky swim water slide of doom. I don't know why. Maybe the villagers are mad that I let them sleep. I went around and said hello to my new citizens of my land, then remembered that I didn't touch this machine for around 80 days. And to your surprise, it's overflowing. So I finally did some capitalism. I woke up the next day nice and healthy with trying to do capitalism. I figured that there were way too many iron golems below the farm, so that's why they weren't spawning. So I used all 17 of my leashes, which I definitely made and didn't steal, and dragged some of my iron golems through a tour of my base, showed them the farm and trading district, and left them at the high school boys' locker room. Hopefully that fixed the farm. So I reloaded into the world and it still didn't make them spawn in. And now to secure my land even more. I know I said I'll make a Japanese theme wall around my place, but I keep on expanding it, so I think the wall will be my last build. I had to leave the beehive wall open since the building will go back into it. Made this poor soldier's teammates say hi to him so I didn't get the debuff. Then said hi to them for being so rude. Had to mow the lawn right after that, as one does after a fight, threw away that extra Chick-fil-A meals, and ended the day off with capitalism. It's time to tackle the animals. With love, don't worry. And I decided to keep 4 of all animals to restart the farm faster. And wow, you can put a lot of animals on one fence. Definitely no issues there. Now to terraform the land to fit the future big boy barn. And don't worry, I'll make it all pretty and nice for you. It's time to bring the time lapses back. I'm extending this part of my compound for the barn, but also for the villager trading stands. I do need to work on those and expand them as well soon. Also, with the Sea Lantern District taking up the other half of my base, I'm going to have to keep on extending my compound this way to fit future farms and other buildings that I don't want in the Sea Lantern District. And finally, the land is completed, for now. The rest of the day, I got rid of the old wall and finished terraforming a small corner of the land. Had a little booger over here set off a creeper, and I finally noticed how bad it is under the land. I was there for my iron golem's last moments. Very sad. And I know I needed to lay down more glowstone fast. I watched Iron Man fall from the sky, and it was time to go farm some more glowstone, which I collected around 3 stacks worth. And continuing on with my little polka dot ground, the glowstone district is somewhat done. And with glowstone in the ground, it lights up the pockets below, so no more mouth breathers. I said hi to a creeper and did some final touches around the base, just finding the little spots without glowstone. Then had my bodyguard help me with finding the spider's family. So kind. And began the Sea Lantern District's lights. I bet you thought I forgot about penguin facts. Did you know that in 1874, over in Egypt, 3.5 penguins managed to rob 17 banks in one day, making it away in 3 hours flat? Never to be seen again. We're amazing. Also, penguins invented gravity back in 2004. Humans before then could fly around and cars weren't a thing. That was the greatest crime against humanity penguins ever pulled off. Now you guys just have to walk around like boring living things. And back in 1304, the emperor penguin species actually found Atlantis. It was located in the eye of the Sahara, and the penguins dragged the city back to the Arctic over the course of 4 weeks. Now, I know you guys won't believe this one. You'll probably think that I'm lying, but did you know that penguins have black and white feathers? Another amazing fact, there are no species of penguin that can survive in outer space. Except for me, I'm built different. I don't mean to expand your brains, but there's still more penguin facts coming. Penguins are so unique that they evolved to fly underwater. And we're so hardened and tough that penguins don't cry. We don't know how to. And the rarest type of penguin is the Galapagos penguin. With an estimated population of 1,800 to 4,700 left, sadly, they're nearly all extinct. Sadly now, I used up all of my sea lanterns. My land is that massive. So that's all the penguin facts for this video. I made 5 more shulker boxes since I'm using them all in different places and got prepared for the Guardian farm. I burned my snake while flying there and got to AFKing. Okay, I bent the truth. Here's some more penguin facts. Penguins will bang their heads together while kissing. Now dubbed as the headbanging kiss. Very metal of them. The oldest penguin in the world, Oldie, is 41 years old as of right now. She lives in a Danish zoo called Odense Zoo. I know, I butchered all of that. Sadly now, penguins aren't social creatures. You can't hug or really touch them. They'll just peck you. Of course, I wouldn't personally know this. Some friends told me this. I finished AFKing and followed this polite tour guide to the chest spot. Everything was overflowing, like normal, so I had to clean it all up. I nearly died by an ankle biter, but to all of your surprise, I didn't die. I finished organizing everything, but I wanted more. I'm planning on using a lot of sea lanterns on my mega base. On day 560, don't even laugh, just stop smiling. Another penguin fact for everyone. The average penguin IQ is apparently around 135 to 145. My goodness, we're incredibly smart. And with that, I gathered the rest of the items and said hi to a box. I returned home, and now for some horror. Viewer discretion is advised. I had to go back to the boys' locker room. I have 4 shulker boxes filled with fish. I traded with them for the rest of the day. This iron golem wouldn't save me from this nightmare, but I luckily finished selling everything. I got organized afterwards and finished the sea lantern floor. Oh man, I hit level 100 at some point, but I don't remember when. And finally, to start another building project while working on a lot of others because why not? Man, I hate this guy, heavy breathing. I figured after imprisoning their family for generations, they deserve a larger area to live in, so each animal, except for the chicken, will have their own barn. With my stone hedges looking beautiful, the outline to the barns are coming along nicely. These animals that I'll probably neglect and never see again will be living nicely at least in here. I'm going to use bricks on the barn, and since I'm going out to collect some clay, I want to collect gravel and sand too for concrete for the mega base. My shovel has Fortune 3 though, so I wouldn't be able to get any gravel. I spent a majority of the day enchanting this diamond shovel so I can collect gravel. Then I went out and collected some gravel, sand, and clay. And to all of your surprise, yet again, I collected clay, sand, and gravel today. I was getting tired of collecting gravel from swamps, so I flew around like penguins do to find a gravel mountain, and collected some ice for the future auto sorting system. Breaking ice is also insanely satisfying. I said hi to a village and borrowed their lanterns, and you guessed it, I flew home and got organized. I still need to find a gravel mountain and desert, so I went back out, and what? I I found my panda that's been locked away for about 300 days now. Oh man, found a desert. I leveled off the desert hill and finally got myself a nice gravel mountain. Almost done collecting all the resources for concrete. I quickly finished gathering up a shulker box worth of gravel and found a witch hut really close to my base for a future witch farm. Then I added some bricks to the barn, beginning the build. I forgot to check on my bamboo farm again, and it's overflowing. So I did some quick capitalism. And now, to start, yet again, another huge build. My auto smelter and cooker. Luckily, I came up with this design on an SMP, so it won't be too difficult to build. But I need gold for some powered rails, so I went to the farm, healed my iron golem that was almost dead, and began the lovely AFKing process. But for some reason, this farm seems a lot slower than usual. Not sure why. My iron golem buddy was crying about how he missed me, so I spent this day spending quality time with him as well. Poor fella. I spent a little bit more time with him, and did the world's greatest landing. I collected the rest of the items, then returned home to organize everything. Now to begin the auto smelter and cooker. I'm making it so I never have to put fuel into it. It'll just use the bamboo farm to fuel itself. And since I already have one that always overflows, I don't need to make another one luckily. And I'm redesigning the mega base to have the auto smelter and cooker in one of its legs. I made this redstone machine that would make a minecart pause under a hopper if it had items on the hopper, then realized that if I do this, it'll prevent the minecart from ever moving, making it pointless. So that was some nice wasted time. I'm also putting the machine in here because I'm going to have my auto sorting system in the base. So when items are done cooking in here, they can automatically go into sorting for me. Before any of you ask for a tutorial on how to make this machine, I don't know how to make one because the design changes whenever I build it, since the fuel, loading, and offloading areas are always in different spots. So it wouldn't make too much sense to show how I build it in the first place. But for the general idea of the machine, you need to have a minecart bring bamboo to the furnaces to fuel them. Then a chest you put the items you want to cook in, and a hopper minecart to pick those up. Then a minecart inside of the machine that will pick up the items from the other hopper minecart. So the hopper minecart that picks up the items you put into it doesn't overfill and freeze the system. And don't worry, I know none of that made sense at all. I'm a terrific explainer, but hopefully the clips that I show you helps it make sense. And for those of you that hate this nerdy stuff, don't worry, the machine is almost done being made. I forgot to mention, you'll need a fourth minecart, depending on how you want the collection area to be. But since it's temporary for me, I'll need the fourth minecart to collect my items. Once my mega base is done, I'll remove this and change it out for a water system. And there we have it! The nerdy section that I hope you didn't dislike too much is over. Afterwards, I went mining to get some stuff to smelt to test out the entire system. I finished gathering up some stuff this day, and time to test out the entire machine. I put the blocks in and the minecart came by, luckily stopping to pick up the blocks in the hopper. Then it went to the machine and loaded it in. Everything is working perfectly, except I forgot the fourth hopper minecart. But the items did end up where they were supposed to. A nice success! The collection cart wasn't stopping, but with a little bit of rewiring, the machine works perfectly now. Of course, I could have made this entire thing with water instead of carts, but where's the fun and appeal of that? Once I was happy with the results, I began to Enderman-proof the machine. And today, I finished baby-proofing my machine from the Slendermen, so they hopefully don't teleport onto my rails and stop the carts. And to absolutely none of your surprises, I went over to the input chest to make a nice hut around it. I tried to follow a theme for it to blend in fairly well with the mansion, but also blend in with the machines next to the mansion. And here we are with another overly decorated building for a double chest. I love it though. And here we go. To make Bumble proud, I'm adding the planks to the honeycomb section that'll be holding up her personal honeycomb section. But for her mega mansion, the building takes up an incredible amount of wood. So I had to go and be a little quirky and chop down even more of Earth's lungs. I wasn't done yet. I wanted to make some beavers proud of me, and I tore down even more of the forest. I want to drive fear into the squirrels around my compound. And this day, I luckily chopped enough wood to finish this entire honeycomb section, which I plan to add a lot more sections to as time goes on. I did as much as I could to Bumble's section, but I ran out of wood. I went to the mob grinder to look over to the compound and wow, so much work has been done to this place, which I believe was heavily needed. I know this episode wasn't as thrilling and action-packed as the previous ones, but I haven't done any building or base keeping yet, and it was all getting pretty bad. Plus, it's been a while since I've gotten the chance to build and do some redstone, so this was a ton of fun. And there we have it! I survived 600 days on hardcore Minecraft. I know this episode was a lot more calm than usual, but I hope you all enjoyed this nerdier and building side of me. It was fun actually being able to build for once and show off some more skill. Hopefully one day I'll finish this base and make Hermitcraft proud. I hope you all enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you all for the 700 day movie.